let us pray, and then we'll just get started on the next episode. Dear Lord, we thank you so much for the day you give us and the opportunities you give us, Lord, to just build and meet new people and hopefully be a resource to those that want a home. And we pray that everything we say, everything we do, we honor you with it. And again, we just ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Welcome back, everybody. Residential Resource Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about us and what we do. We were a little reluctant to do that, but we've had some people just inquire. So we're going to just talk about all the places we build and the resources we have available to you guys. So I'll just jump right in with where do we build. Our primary business, as you saw in our previous podcast, we started after we our youngest went to college and we moved to Smith Lake, and that's right at 5 years ago now, or going into our 5th year this year.
She graduated. We've been here full time 2 years, but we've been building here with an office for going on 5 years.
5 years, yep. So, so Smith Lake, definitely I would call home for us, where it all began, and then eventually we'll talk about how this happened a little later. But Lake Guntersville, we got a call. Can you come help us with the community? So we do have the resources to build on Lake Guntersville, and just recently, our youngest son Taylor, who's been in the industry, commercial electrician, came to us and wants to start building. So we have just recently announced Weiss Lake. So really all the lakes across north central Alabama, we actually have the resources to build on. And then 2 cities that are near those would be Coleman and Jasper. We feel like we can manage that footprint really well. So if you're needing a builder in that area, those are the areas we build in. Anything you want to add, Lisa, on where we build?
No, I think that's it.
I'll let you talk about some of the services we offer.
Yeah, and when Marty and I were doing this, talking about people have asked what all we do, what services we provide. So we wanted to, again, detail that as well. We can help you find a lot, find some property, if you don't already have that. When someone reaches out to us, we ask, do you already have a lot? Do you already have some property that you want to build on? Or do you need help with that? And when people reach out to us, a lot of times they don't know that we can do that as well. And so that's a question that we have. We absolutely can do that. I am a licensed realtor. Marty is a broker. Our son Hayden works with us. He is also a realtor. So we have the ability to find property for you if you don't have property. So that's one service. Evaluation, a site review, site evaluation is very important with your build. And sometimes we'll have people reach out, they have found a piece of property and they want our opinion on it.
Yes.
We love it when that happens, especially if we're going to be your builder.
Yes.
Because,
look at the property first.
And you heard this in our first podcast, you have an all-in budget in mind as a homeowner, and it matters what you put in the dirt in order to meet that all-in budget. And we love it when we get an opportunity to preview that property you're looking at prior to you even buying it.
Yes.
Because we have had situations where we were not involved in that part of the process, and it might have been a deal on the lot, but the price to actually get you a home on it, or to even get from the home down to the water, or the driveway from the road down to the home, blew the budget out of the water.
Yes.
And so sometimes that deal might not be a deal. And so evaluating that property is really important to us. And we'll even do that if you're working with another builder. Call us. We would love to help you. That's a resource that we have just seen it time and time again, where it's just put people in a really bad situation. So, and your builder will most likely do it for you as well, but that is something that will help you find the property, or will evaluate your property or property that you are looking at. Property planning and development is something that Marty mentioned in here. If you have a large piece of property that is unrestricted, you're able to divide it, you want to maybe do multiple properties on it, multiple investment properties. You might want to divide it with a future plan. Today I'm going to do one, but eventually I want 4. We'll help you with that today plan, but also what will work as you grow in your investments.
Absolutely.
And you want to grow that portfolio, and here's where the next one would go and the next one would go. So we can help you with that plan and the development of large parcels of property. We have done that several times, something that we also love to do. Plan review, whether you have a plan, you need a plan, or you want a plan with us. Again, we like to hear your budget, and then also what your needs are for you and or for your family, and give you some guidance on the most cost-effective way to get you there.
Absolutely.
I think sometimes you have in your mind, and we've talked about this many times, I need a 3,500 square foot plan because that's what I have in my primary home. And you can take 2,500 or 2,700 and make it live really large. And especially if it's a lake home, there's some things that if it's not going to be your primary home, you might not need. So we love to do a plan review with you. Plan design. I think you were talking a little bit about making it pretty, getting the details, designing it. Once we get the floor plan, then we start working on that exterior. And then we can do renderings for you, 3D walkthroughs to make you see it and truly know if you like the look of it. We love to be able to do that too. It brings it to life. And there's a lot of us need that visual. We need to see it, and we have the ability to do those 3D imaging watercolors.
Yeah. On the property and planning too, if it's just one site, where's the best place to place the home? Where's the best place for a fire pit? Where's the best place to get me from the house to the water, or the house, down the side of a mountain? What's the best way to do that? And plan review is just, I bought this plan. Is there any pitfalls? And whether it's our plan or another one, we'll be happy to just, is that plan buildable? Are we going to run into any pitfalls that we don't even realize? So that's plan review. And then plan design is, like you said, just, we'll sit down with a napkin and get you guys started. Just listen to you talk, and we can kind of sketch that plan out ahead of time. So when you go meet with your designer, we've got the basic ideas, room placement, and those things. So we do offer those services again, and we don't necessarily have to be the builder. We just provide those services for other people and other builders. So I'll let you talk selections for sure.
Yeah, so the selection process, we have a showroom with cabinet options and countertop options and cabinet hardware, plumbing fixtures. We have a lot of tile selections, different wood flooring, all that here in our showroom. We have a decorator that you work with, whether it is me sometimes. We have a daughter that's an interior designer at Alabama, so in a couple of years it will be her.
For sure.
And she will be much better at this than me, but I do enjoy doing it. I always say it's the pretty fun parts of it. Marty is really good at designing a plan, and I love the part where I get to step in and help make it pretty. So a lot of times you just need someone to help bounce those ideas off. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? For our showroom, we have 14 different cabinet colors and 14 different countertops. And you can move the tops around on the different cabinets to see what you like and pair it together. So the selection process is fun, but it can be overwhelming. And our goal for that is just to make it as smooth as possible and as enjoyable as possible. And so we're here to guide with that, with all the things from roofing all the way to the interior faucets and flooring. We have the ability, obviously, to do all of that and work hand in hand with you. And then do you want to jump into the question about do we do remodels and renovations?
Yes. I'm back to the selections process, though. Do we offer that? Would we help someone as a service too? I just want to make sure that we did mention that to you guys, that we don't, again, it's not all about us. We really do want to be a resource to the industry. If you just need some help putting it all together, which I've heard that term. I don't do the decorator selections much, but I overhear it in the next room. Is like we just want to make sure that it all fits, it all
ties
works
in
together. Lisa sells herself short. She's wonderful at it, and are excited about getting our daughter involved. But if you just have a plan, you have a lot, you have all these different ideas in your head, and you just want to kind of put a bow on it before you start construction, you're amazing at that. So we do offer that to people that are not building with us, just to help them kind of put a bow on that.
We had someone reach out a couple of weeks ago just for us to help them with their cabinets. And we're doing that.
Yeah.
So again, it's just being a resource. Reach out to us if we can help you in any way. We're happy to do that. We do not have to be your builder at all to be able to provide those services.
Yep. So question number 4, or topic number 4 is, do we do remodels and renovations? And historically has not been a big part of our business, but in economic times where interest rates are 6, 7, and 8%, people, they can sell their home for a really, really high price, but they can't afford to buy the next one because they refinanced at 2%. So we find that more people are staying home. And so we actually now are going back and renovating for former customers that want to update their home. So not been a big part of our business. So we did, in the recent history, we went out and found some remodel crews out of some bigger cities that we trust. We've got some relationships with them. They do some work for us. So the answer is yes. We're very selective about what we do, but and what we take on, because we don't want to take away from our primary business, which is new construction. But there are just people now that need that service, and we do offer it. Whether if you just want your kitchen redone, if you just want to do hardwoods, paint, new trim. So the short answer is yes, and we do again have some crews that we trust. We just don't want to send. There's a lot of people out there that call themselves contractors, unlicensed, and they're out doing work. But we do have a couple of good remodel crews that Central Alabama, North Central Alabama, that they would be willing to come out.
Well, and I want to echo what you said about remodel crews. Remodeling is very different from new construction. And so we need a crew that is familiar with remodeling. When you are remodeling, a lot of times you have no idea what you're going to get yourself into when you start peeling back the layers. That's not in every case, but it is in a lot of cases. You may have crooked walls. You may have, there's just all kind of different things. And in the past, when we have done this, as we say, we talk about things because we've experienced things with remodels. It is very important to have crews in there that understands remodeling and how to maneuver those situations that will arise most of the time in a remodel, a renovation, an addition, that you, again, might not have in a new construction when it was just dirt and we built it.
Absolutely.
You unearth some things sometimes when you start ripping walls out, especially if it's an older home. And when you're ordering cabinets and the walls are crooked and you can't get the cabinets to fit because the walls are crooked, the floor has settled.
Yeah.
You've got to have somebody that knows how to then make that work and look aesthetically pleasing. So we feel like for us, we have found a couple of crews that we are confident in their ability to do that.
Agreed.
That's important to us. And again, that's why we're a little bit selective in doing those.
Yeah, we just don't want to do what we're not good at. So we do offer that service. It just seems like with renovation and remodeling, with new construction, you can kind of plan a little better. But with that, every time you peel back a layer, you're really uncovering a problem that could have been going on for 20 years. We've had floor joists rotted out. I mean, if you watch television, you see on every show there that when you're doing renovation, it's like there's always a problem. Those are not, that's not just for good TV. That's real. It really happens. You peel back the layers and you find new problems. So we just have to have crews that we have confident that are not going to just cover the problem back up. They're going to come to you. We're going to talk about the problem. We're going to figure out how to fix it, adjust on the fly, and move forward. So,
Absolutely.
So you want me to talk about the last topic?
Yeah.
So Lisa mentioned we are brokers, and our background, really how we started, is on-site new home sales. We were salespeople for, I don't know, as many as 30, 40, 50 builders, some of the largest builders in the Birmingham area. Our job was to market for those builders. In over 20 plus years of doing that, we learned a lot about community evaluation, absorption report, which just means we understand how to study the entire market and tell you, a developer, like, okay, this market is absorbing this many homes in this price point a year, and those homes that is absorbing is this many 3-bedroom 2-baths at this price. So we can help a developer or a guy who wants to develop evaluate his property, his market, what kind of homes to build, what is the market telling it. So we call that absorption rates, or community evaluations. And then also, when you get to that, so you've evaluated in this market, and there is a need in the market from 200 to 300,000. Well, in that $200,000 to $300,000 range, what are the people wanting? So we the next thing we do would be a product study for the developer and say, okay, you need to be in this price range. Does that work with your lot cost? And then also, we get with the builder in that community, or if it's a builder developer and they're doing both, we show them, okay, this is what the market's saying. This is the price range you need to be in. So can you add your lot to this house? Can we hit that hole in the market? I'll let you talk about like house design a little bit, about how do we decide what style of home to build in a market.
Yeah, again, I think it's like you said, studying that market. So we have, over the course of 20 plus years between the two of us, you probably are 25, I'm 20 plus. We've worked with a lot of developers who have subdivisions that are sitting and they're not selling. And we do a market analysis. We run absorption reports. We look at products that are selling in that area, which then is the design. That helps us to know, okay, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths with this look is moving really well in this market. One thing that we live by is, if you've got a subdivision sitting, you got 3 things that you have to focus on: product, price, and place.
Yep.
And it's got to be one of those that's causing it to not sell. Maybe you are in a really, maybe your property is really far away from any livelihood. So you've got to battle the location, the place that community, where it is sitting, or where that spec home is sitting, or whatever that might be. The price. Sometimes we want to sell at a certain price, but the market doesn't lie. So what price is selling? And so then you have to take the emotion out of it. And do I want to sell it, or do I want to just look at it?
Yeah. They're beautiful, but they're not selling. That's
and so again, it's the price. So we know what product sells, and we can tell you what price in that market is selling. And so what have I said? Product, price,
place,
and place. And we like to go in and evaluate that. It's going to be one of those 3 things. And I would probably add a 4th one, which you could say it's, what did I say the other day? The 4th P is political.
Yeah.
An election year is always fun when you are in the real estate, building, construction industry. And that would probably be an added P. It's not advocating one way or the other. It's just, when you're in an election year, we've been doing this for a long time and lived through a lot of elections, there's always an uneasiness or an uncertainty, or I'm going to wait until. And it's frustrating when you're in this industry, because you want to say, it doesn't matter. You're still going to have a home. And we're going to, after the election day, we're going to get up, get dressed, and do our life no matter who's in the White House. So for us, and I've talked to many realtors over the course of 20 plus years who says the same thing. I wish it weren't like this, because it doesn't really change our day to day. You still have to have a house. You still have to, live. But for whatever reason, there's some uncertainties. And again, we know that interest rate does affect those things as well. So, I just wanted to echo that.
Yeah, I'll talk about staffing a little bit. So this one, you got to, I guess, approach it with kid gloves a little bit. But so a builder, a developer, goes out and they put some lots on the ground, and they've got these houses they want to sell, and their natural inclination is to go to hire the number one resale real estate agent in the market. That's what they do. They go to the biggest realtor, and they're like, well, he's super successful. And if the market is right and the product is right, they have some success. But the staffing of new construction is a completely different animal. And as you can imagine, in the environment we're in right now, our phone's ringing like, hey, we developed 50 lots and we've been sitting here dead in the water. And so we've had to go in and to evaluate the staffing. It's just a totally different animal. It is a product. They have to understand all the P's that you just talked about. They have to understand what product they're selling. So it's just, we can help you evaluate staffing of your community or your marketing angle of why is it not selling, or is it the price, or is it the product, is it the place? But staffing is super important and something that gets missed often in, like I said, on-site new home sales or new construction sales. It's just really a different animal. You have to understand, what are we building versus what is the competing communities building? What is the advantage of building with this builder and not this builder? So you get into there, and in this environment, which is one of the reasons I literally just added this on, because all of a sudden the phone's ringing. It's like, hey, I've got houses sitting, interest rates are at 8%. I've got lots sitting. What do we need to do to our product line to make the adjustments to make sure we're competitive? When the market's good and interest rates are at 2%, everybody's a hero. But when you get the interest rates ticking up, and all of a sudden you've got competition, and it's going from a seller's market to a buyer's market. You hear all these industry terms. People got to understand how to staff for new construction. And any market we could go in, and we could get availability to the MLS data to do the absorption report. We can evaluate the sales staff, evaluate the pricing model, evaluate the product model. And it's not because we're super smart. Someone taught this to us, but if you do all that, even in the worst economic times, the wheels will start turning. And we were talking to one of our developers the other day, and they're like, you're not doing this and you're not doing that. But if you've got the right product in the right place at the right price, it'll start to sell, but you just have to understand how to get that. So we that's a service we offer. Well, really, in any market.
And staffing, when you talk about that too, it is, like you said, it's so important to have an agent that understands new construction. There is still a shortage of homes in pretty much any market across the United States.
Yes, for sure.
And we won't catch that for many years.
I don't know that we'll ever catch it.
Right.
I agree.
And that happened in 2007, 2008, and we all know that, where banks won't allow you to do specs the way that we used to. You could put 40 specs on the ground, and just about anybody could go get the money to do that. That changed, and it changed for good reason.
Yeah.
So we have a shortage of product. In those situations, building is perfect. If there is nothing in your market that meets your budget, your needs in the location, then build something. You can build a house typically, depending on the house, 4 to 6 months, 6 to 8 months, or 8 to 10, 10 to 12, depending on the size of your home.
Right.
If you know a local builder, get with them and explore building. But you need an agent that can understand that.
Absolutely.
And understand, hey, it doesn't matter that I don't have this listing on MLS. Let me find a builder. Let's find them a lot. Let's find them a home, and let's build. And that's something that we have reached out to several agents in our market as we're talking about, services that we provide. We love to do that. We'll help you find the lot and pay you that lot commission. We'll pay you to the commission for the build job. Usually we are able to do that up front to our agents in our area once the construction loan closes. But building in a market where you have a shortage of product is perfect. But you've got to have an agent that understands building, and to be able to, I guess, sell that vision to a customer. It is really hard sometimes for people to look at a piece of paper and say, that's my house. But again, if you get with a builder, they probably have homes under construction. They can walk them through. We can help talk them through that. So staffing is important for a builder, but also working with agents in your market and them understanding you as a builder. And that is a service we like to provide is, I guess educating agents on us as a builder, but also other markets and other builders and understanding what that builder can do for their clients.
Right, and educating builders on the kind of staff you need in these economic times. Like you can't, it's one thing to stick a sign in the yard, the market's good, everything's selling, stick a sign in the yard, it sells. But it's another thing when all of a sudden there's inventory starting to build up, or you're competing, you've got a bunch of lots that you need to sell. You need to partner yourself with a group that understands absorption rate, product design, an agent that's educated on how to sell that, because the building process is intimidating to people. And so if they walk in and that agent is a mega superstar resale agent who's got a lot going on and they don't have the time to stop and come sit down with the person driving up on that property, then your developer or your builder is losing business. So you just have to, you have to understand staffing is just one thing. But
and I think for me, I've primarily been involved in new construction from the very beginning. When I got my license, that's what I got my license for, is to work in new construction. And in new construction, I've always said the difference is in new construction. And back in the day when I started, I mean, we were in model homes. We staffed it 7 days a week. We had partners. But that's all I did was work in that subdivision. And, where a resale, you are promoting yourself and what you can do. For a true new construction sales agent, you're promoting a builder. You're promoting a product. You're promoting a community. And but that doesn't mean that builder doesn't want to work with those resale agents, but it might be advantageous for you as a builder to have an agent that represents you.
100%.
And then co-op, work with, welcome those resale agents, but having an agent that understands you, your product, and they're out meeting other agents to bring that business to you is so beneficial for a builder.
Yeah, and we've had to have some tough
seen it work over and over again.
Absolutely. We've had to have some tough conversations with, it's not that we don't love you, but like you have this mega business and your builder is, your developer's over here going broke because you don't have time and, to spend to educate the community or the buying public that's walking in the door on why is this community awesome? Why is this builder awesome? Why is this product a fit for your family? It's not it's just in these economic times, those problems bubble to the surface. So,
and I think it's one thing if you're a builder that you just build a house or two, but if you are in a development and you have 100 lots you need to sell, you need an agent that is a new construction professional representing you and that community and that product. Again, they're wanting to work with other agents, but it's a spokesperson that represents your interest.
yeah, absolutely.
And it is not to, try to seclude working or not work with other people. They're there to help get other agents in and educate those agents and make those agents' jobs easier. I mean, we've got agents that work with us on the lake. All they do is call us because they know we're going to take care of them, and most importantly, we're going to take care of their clients.
Yep.
And that is what we want. We don't want to take work or take business away. We want to work together.
Yeah.
And so we like to work with other builders and developers to help them partner with the right people, the right team, to get their product sold.
Yeah, just to, I guess, put a bow on what one of the services we do offer. Whether you've already got a community and it's in the ditch, so to speak, like we can come in, evaluate your entire situation. And again, it's not because we're these super smart people, just somebody taught us how to do it. You got to evaluate the market, the product, everything. So if you already have one that's kind of gotten over in the ditch and because the interest rates bumped up, we can kind of help you find a pathway out. And then before you do it, if you've never developed, because a lot of people, they've created some net worth in life, and I guess all little boys like to go play in the dirt. So they all of a sudden find themselves, they're a developer and they own 50 acres and they're putting roads in, and they get to this place and they really don't know how to get out. But I would say if you're thinking about doing it, definitely, if it's us or somebody else who provides this service, get with a group and do the market study, do the product study, do your sales staff study, talk with all the brokers in there. Is there a broker in your area that understands new construction and on-site new home sales, and do all that work and see what the market's telling you and design to the market rather than just go out and put a bunch of lots on the ground and hope they sell. And again, this topic or this service, we've done it our whole careers, but we mainly have been a builder the last 10. But we just want to offer it because we're getting the phones ringing and people are asking us to do it. So we'll be happy to do it for you and your sales staff in your area, whether we end up being the broker there or the builder there or not. We would, if there's people that have got that situation going on, we're happy to come around. And that would be really, I would say, anywhere in the kind of the Southeast, all the way from the Gulf Coast up to Tennessee, just really anywhere. But we could service it properly, probably in the Southeast, I would say.
Well, and just to also, I wanted to mention, if you've got even a listing with an agent and your house is not selling, there is a reason your house is not selling. And a lot of times there's so much emotion in your home, and that's understandable. I mean, I know how I am with my home and my kids, and it is like, that is my haven where our kids still come to. It is so important. And so we understand the emotion, but your realtor doesn't have that emotion. They have data. Listen to them.
Yes.
And it's there's always a reason it's not selling. And so I think when you hire a realtor, listen to them. Find you a good one that will analyze the market, and they'll tell you the truth, not what you want to hear to get a listing.
Yeah.
Listen to them. And, I guess I said earlier, it goes back to, do you want to sell it or do you want to look at it? The market doesn't lie.
No.
And sometimes it may be the condition of the home, and you might need to do a few tweaks to it to make it a little more marketable. It might be the price is too high. It might be the area. And so just look at the data, talk to your real estate professional, and then listen to them and let them do their job. If you've hired them and you've trusted them, they're there for you. And I would say, I just wanted to echo that it might not be a big development. It might just be a house that's sitting right now.
Yeah.
So let's get real and talk about why. Show me an absorption report. Let me see what's selling. Let me see the products that are selling, and what can I do to make mine move.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I think that'll wrap it up, unless you got anything else you want to add about our services. And
I don't think so. I do want to just reiterate that we love to hear from you. And
Absolutely.
we have gotten feedback that has been so helpful to us in knowing what to bring to you the next episode. So we're not just saying it, we really mean it. We want you to email us at info@buildinglakelife.com. We want you to call us at 205-784
4016.
4016.
Yeah.
I almost forgot our phone number. We want to hear what you need to hear.
Absolutely.
We want to help you. As Marty said, even in a different market, we got a car. We can drive to you. We want to bring information that is informative. Building a home, developing property can be so stressful. There's so many things that go into it. And it is truly our goal to be a resource. So we appreciate the opportunity to sit and talk. And the fact that people are actually listening blows my mind.
Yeah, that's good.
It's exciting, but we want the time that you're listening to be an informative time for you. We know your time is valuable. So let us hear from you so that we're talking about what you need to hear.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Thank you again for supporting our podcast. If you will click below, you'll see the link to our YouTube channel as well as our Spotify. You can watch us on YouTube or listen on our Spotify. You'll also see a link below to our Instagram and Facebook. We'd appreciate you following, liking, sharing, and giving us any feedback you have so that we can make the podcast better for you.